All right, welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about daddy issues for the women first. And then we'll talk about it because guys also have daddy issues. We're going to get into that right here with our first video.
5 signs someone could have daddy issues from a licensed therapist. Number 1, fear of abandonment. When a father figure is absent, whether physically or emotionally, it can leave you fearing that others will leave too. You might constantly worry about upsetting or disappointing people because their negative emotions feel like a warning sign of abandonment. Number 2, a lack of personal boundaries. You might let others walk all over you, or you people please because you crave love and connection. But when you don't set boundaries, you often end up feeling used, which reinforces feelings of rejection. Number 3, feeling unworthy. If you grew up feeling like you weren't enough for your father, it can leave long-term scars. This often results in low self-esteem, making you feel unworthy of love, care, or attention, even as an adult. Number 4, a pattern of toxic partners. If you keep ending up in toxic relationships, you might be subconsciously recreating or trying to heal your relationship with your father. You could be chasing approval or gravitating toward partners with similar traits. This cycle is often subconscious and keeps you stuck in hurtful patterns. Number 5, trust issues. You might find it hard to trust others, assuming they have hidden motives or bad intentions. This can lead to overcompensating, seeking reassurance, or becoming overly needy, but deep down, it's about wanting to feel safe and loved.
Jeez. It's so crazy. I got all 5, okay? I had my dad and everything was in my life, okay? But being a grown adult and no longer having my dad just got me in a whole other realm of stuff. You get your confidence from your dad. And this has been a huge theme. This has been a huge theme in my life. Confidence, courage. The lion in The Wiz was low-key one of my favorite characters because I saw myself so much in that lion. I literally cried. Let's get into our next video.
Girls who grew up without a father in the home are the poster child for daddy issues, yet nobody talks about the girlies who had their fathers physically present, but he provided absolutely no emotional support and did not display healthy, loving relationship toward that child's mother. So as a result, both of those women have daddy issues. Both of those women grew up feeling insecure and constantly questioning their value and if they are worthy of love. Both of those women will either fall into one of 2 categories. They will be anxious in relationships and constantly craving that love and reassurance that she did not get in her childhood, that she did not see displayed in her childhood home. Or 2, she will become hyper independent to the point where she avoids love and anything that mirrors that as a way to protect herself from ever becoming a victim of someone disappointing her the way that her father did. And our father plays such a key role in our developmental years. So when you grow up with or without a father, ultimately it leaves you with certain patterns and subconscious beliefs around love and your self-worth. So when I'm having conversations with clients, I want to know what their childhood was like, whether the father was there or not. So ultimately we can uncover any limiting beliefs, any relationship patterns, so that you can begin to open your heart up to allow love, intimacy, and connection, and even feminine energy to flow in.
Let's get into our next video of what this may look like.
Let's look at women with daddy issues and the behavioural traits behind it. Okay, here's a little girl and here's her dad. And it's a difficult relationship with her father. Her past relationship with her father has been difficult because he might be absent, abusive, emotionally unavailable, or have addictions. And because of those learned behaviours and past trauma, that's going in to the little girl and it's creating a wound inside. That's what we call the father wound. And she now has a resentment and distrust around men. She's grown up, but she has this resentment, distrust around men because of her father wound. She may also have a fear of commitment and be unavailable herself. And because of this wound, she is now accepting in unavailable men or damaged men or abusive men or even older men, you know, kind of like the sugar daddy thing, or older men. And because of this wound, she's repeating these patterns over and over in her relationships. Okay, so if you feel that you had a difficult relationship with your father, then you can do this. Number one, it's really important to heal the past resentment and pain towards your dad and any exes. See, your father has his learned behaviours and his own trauma, and he's limited. And that resentment, as much as it might be valid, it's also good to release that and let go of that. And any exes that you've, you know, been in relationships with that have also perhaps hurt you in these ways. So healing any resentment, you can do that with a therapist or a good kind of trauma facilitator. Second, identify and change any behavioural patterns, i.e. you're open to mistreatment, you're open to unavailable men. Identify these patterns and look to change them. Third, increase your self-love and boundaries. Increasing your self-love and boundaries means that you're going to say no to any of this stuff. And fourth, look to create healthier beliefs around men and relationships. There's some wonderful, consistent, loving, integrous men out there, and you can find one of them. So look to create healthier beliefs around men.
So a comment on here says, I genuinely have no idea how to move on or how to forgive. No matter how much therapy, the grudge is still there. Another comment on here says, every time I see girls having a good time with their dads, I cry. Another comment on here says, I had an absent father. My whole life, I do attract emotionally unavailable men, aka the exes. But I realized I was emotionally unavailable and didn't have healthy... Oh, that's a thread. Never mind. Let's get into our next video. Let's hear the perspective from a daughter.
Am I the only one, or I feel like daddy and daughter relationships is not talking about enough? Like, I feel like nobody talks about how a girl or what a girl goes through when her relationship with her father is not right. Like, as y'all know, I went to Atlanta and was staying with my father, so I stayed with him for a month. So that was the first time I ever stayed with him for a long period of time. My mom and my father don't get along, so I barely see my father growing up. And when I did see him, it was always because of my grandma through a family event or something. So when I actually got to stay with him for that month, I was kind of healing my inner child, but at the same time, I did not get what, like, I felt like my heart needed. Like, why does nobody talk about how heartbreaking it is to not have a proper relationship with the person who birthed you? Like, I feel like the problem with me and my father is I feel like he always need a woman and he always need a lady. He always got to have a girlfriend or something. Like, that man can never be alone. Like, ever since I known this man, he done had like 5 wives and like 10 different girlfriends. And I feel like that's not fair to me because it's like, first of all, I'm always getting introduced to a new person. And that means his attention is going somewhere else and never to his kids. My dad has 3 kids. I bet you it's actually 4 of them. I have a sister and 2 brothers, so it's 3 of us. I bet you out of all 3 of us, only probably one of them knows him and barely know him because I have a sister and she lives in ATL, not too far from him. But the rest of us, even probably including her, we don't have a good relationship with him. And a relationship could only be built if the man wants to build it. And I feel like the lack of trying sucks. Like, I text my father, I kid you not, I texted probably last week. I still ain't get a response. And it's the day that was. And then sometimes I question, like, maybe if I had my father in my life, I wouldn't be like this. Or maybe if I had my father in life, I would like different types of boys. But at this point, I can't even blame it on my father because he wasn't here to show me nothing. So how the fuck am I supposed to know?
Type shit. Okay. That is so true and so facts. Like, some cases with dads that have this kind of behavior that are always, they need a woman. They always need a woman. The dads that are like that, he has mommy issues for shiz. And probably daddy issues too because he couldn't rely on his dad. It was always a woman that had to, you know, either ease his pain or consciousness about whatever it is that he's doing, you know. Shoot, you have kids but you can't connect with them. What's up with that? Into our next video. I thought this video was funny.
I don't have those whore daddy issues. I have the daddy issues where I'm willing to abandon you the situation and anything that we've created together, I'm willing to leave it, okay? And I have never believed a word you said. I just went with the flow. Those kind of daddy issues. I don't have those.
This is me. I feel like this, it right up my alley because, yeah. Not the whore daddy issues, bitch. I keep it closed, okay? But going with the flow, oh my god, that is so true. That's so hilariously true. We're talking about all of this because of dating, okay? This is the topic discussion because of relationships. Don't think that guys don't know or that they can't sense that you have daddy issues. Let's get into our next video.
Every woman I was in a relationship with in the past that cheated on me in a relationship had daddy issues. Never take a woman that has daddy issues serious. What is a woman with the daddy issues? If you meet a woman and you ask her about her dad and she give you negative feedback about her dad, I don't know him, I don't like him, I don't really talk to him, you know, all that type of bullshit. If she did not grow up with the proper father figure, if she can't respect the masculine leadership element of a man, she will not do it with you, all right? And women with daddy issues tend to be the most sneakiest, freakiest, promiscuous creatures on the planet. I'm telling you, bro, all right? So if you meet a woman and you're just dating and you ask her about her dad and she say, I don't really talk to him, bro, you can't take her serious. I'm telling you, bro. She gonna disrespect you and she gonna do some sneaky ass shit behind your back. I'm telling you. Betrayal is on the way. Heartbreak is on the way. Amazon Prime, same day shipping. Free game.
He has a point. I was gonna talk some crap, but he has a point. Let's get to our next video.
A woman who had an emotionally absent father who she couldn't really connect to, who didn't always seem interested in her, is more likely to develop hyper-independence and not be able to emotionally depend on people because it doesn't feel safe to trust them. She may end up in relationships with men who are emotionally unavailable, who aren't able to show up for her, because this reminds her of her father, and unconsciously there's a fantasy that if she can fix this man, she'll be fixing her father, and finally a man will care about her and show up in the way that she needs. It's then difficult to walk away from the wrong person or ignore the red flags, because unconsciously this would be giving up on the fantasy of fixing her father, and it would trigger all those feelings of being abandoned by her dad once again. To work this through, if you're a man or a woman with a father wound, you need to get in touch with your anger, get in touch with your grief, get in touch with your disappointment, so you stop projecting it onto your current relationships and can choose someone who's right for you.
You cannot fix a man. All right, here's our next one.
I get the stigma is that girls without dads have daddy issues, but I've seen bitches with dads have way worse daddy issues. My dad's been out getting milk now for about 15 years, and I'm perfectly fine. But let me tell you, bitches with dads, they got an agenda. Their dads are out here like, my little girl is so sweet. Meanwhile, the bitch is doing coke in the bathroom of a college frat party. Sis has a roster the NFL would be proud of. And my no daddy having asses out here like, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing.
Oh, I just thought that was funny. But let's get into this next video.
Not having your father in your life or having a dad that was there but emotionally disconnected affects Black women in ways that we don't even think of. The first one is your self-love. It is said that you get your nurturing from your mother, but you get your confidence and your sense of who you are from your dad. So there's a lot of Black girls, unfortunately, who were not raised with their father, who have a hard time knowing who you are, loving yourself, and also number two, setting boundaries. When you didn't have a male figure there to protect you when you were young, you assume that you're not worthy of being protected or kept safe or kept happy. So then you don't set boundaries and keep yourself safe and happy. That's why that's so hard for Black women to do, because somebody wasn't there, aka your dad, to do that for you when you were young. The other thing is that you seek either validation from men or to have men react to you in some way, whether that's lust or jealousy or anger or acknowledging you or whatever. You feel this craving of needing a man to react in some way to validate you, or you feel like you need constant compliments, constant verbal validation. That feeling of not being good enough comes from a father wound. The other thing is that we will recreate that wounded relationship and not even realize it, because our subconscious mind will relive out patterns. This is why you hear a lot of people say they're like have dated narcissists or emotionally unavailable men. I have been through this myself, because what I didn't realize is my father was unavailable to me, and that pattern of chaos seemed normal. That pattern of abandonment seemed normal. It seemed normal for you to pull up with gifts and wonderful things and then leave me high and dry a week later, but you're gonna come back around next month with more gifts and I'm just gonna forgive you, right? So we subconsciously recreate our wounded father relationship, and this is why so many of us are in toxic relationships, because the first relationship we ever had with a man was toxic and it broke our heart, and we keep reliving that over and over again, thinking we're going to make it right. This is also why a lot of Black women are fixers and will get with men that have potential and will try to be the ride or die and fix and do all of that. You are trying to correct a subconscious wound. You are trying to prove to a man that you are worth staying with because you felt abandoned by the first man that was supposed to accept you. So if you recognize any of these behaviors in yourself, I have embodied all of them at one point or another in my journey. It is so important to start to make peace with whatever happened with your dad, whatever you felt like he didn't give you, because here's the important thing to know. It's not you. You were not the reason that he didn't give you what he was supposed to give you. It's not because you weren't worthwhile. It's not because you weren't a good kid. It's not because you weren't special and precious. He, as your father, had something going on, and now you deserve to rewrite that story and give yourself all the love that you've deserved all along.
Period. This is generational. This is generational. Your parents may have daddy and mommy issues, okay? And you see that. And then they do their thing. Our next video is going to come from a daughter, and their relationship evolved into her now adult life having daddy issues because her dad has shifted and changed and is unrecognizable to her. Let's get into it.
I have been wanting to share this story for a very, very long time, but I have been scared, but also very emotional about it. I am 26 years old, and I have had my dad in my life my whole life. I haven't had him in my life for almost 2 years now. And it is probably, I'm not gonna cry, it's probably the hardest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And it's only because my dad made the decision to step out of his marriage and totally become the man that I'd never thought he'd be. And to find out now at my age, all the stuff that was going on before I even found out what was really happening just crushed me even more. As girls, we look up to our dads like they are so perfect in our eyes. Like they literally do no wrong, you know? And then once something happens that makes you look at them differently, it totally crushes your spirit. And I think that is the worst heartbreak. Worse than any man. And I've been holding it in for a very, very long time. I do miss my dad every single day. But I cannot allow myself to interact or be around someone who is such a narcissist. Came to a point to where I started to blame myself almost. Like, what did I do wrong? I feel like people, you know, us as kids, we always do that when our parents just aren't happy. We put the blame on ourselves. Everyone knows, like, talking about my dad is such a touchy topic for me, only because I idolized my dad. Me and my dad used to be like this. Inseparable. I just feel like as you grow up and you really start to get to know your parents and you really start to grow mentally and your mindset changes, you're no longer thinking as a kid, you're now thinking as an adult. And I think once I became a mother, I really started to notice and I really started to pay attention to how much trauma he caused me and hurt that I went through that I didn't even know was hurting me. It's just crazy to know that now I'm here at this point in time and I have tried to like get through my dad. I have tried to like help him understand where I'm coming from. I've tried to have those conversations and it's like nothing's clicking. Like at this point I have to remove myself in order for me to heal, in order for me to be happy, because I can't keep clinging on to this dream or this what if that he's just gonna wake up one day and just change. As much as it hurts and as much as it's killing me, I see videos of like women at their weddings and like their dad is walking them down the aisle, and I just think that and I'm just like, whoo,
I'm just like, will that ever be me, you know? And then I also think of my son and him not really having that close connection with his granddad because of the things that he's done to hurt not only our family but me as well. I'm saying this all to say is that just because they are your parents does not mean that they are able to disrespect you. Does not mean that they are able to invalidate your feelings, make you feel like you're crazy, make you feel like you're dumb. Just because they're parents does not mean you have to settle for their behavior. I just wanted to share that. That was a little emotional for me. But I think about him every single day and it genuinely makes me sad.
Wow. Oh my gosh. It is something. It is something. Okay. This is a good, nice, touchy kind of, that was a good video. I really like how that one was.
The situation's making you feel more emotion than it should, then it's not probably about the situation. Before I addressed my daddy issues in my 20s, I used to chase guys, wait for them to reply to their messages, wait to see what they wanted to do with me on the weekend, not plan anything, get ready even before they ask me out to see if they want to ask me out, not go out with my girlfriends in case he wanted to ask me out last minute. And then when I fully addressed my daddy issues and was like, you know what? I let go. And to be honest, it was after having kids when I realized that him not being in my life was, I still chased him in my 20s before I had kids, like trying to impress him. And then when I had my own kids, I was like, wow, no hard feelings, but I would never not be around for my kids, so I'm not really even interested. In the most pure letting go of it way, like, I'm sure he's a great person, but just, I release you, right? In that moment, I stopped caring why Brad doesn't reply. I stopped caring why Gerald doesn't this. Not that those were the names of the people, but even with my husband who wanted to marry me and wanted to be with me, with my anxious attachment, I took everything he ever wrote or said, or if he was busy, to be like a rejection to me. And that will ruin your life, honestly, and your relationships with men and people and everything. Even down to your mother relationship. If you are a mum and you are at home with your children and you find it deathly boring, there is research to say that's because your mum wasn't engaged with you as a child. Everything goes back to another relationship. Anyway, I digress. But if it hurts too much to be about the situation, then it's probably not about the situation and you should be working backwards as opposed to on that person that you're thinking about.
Because this affects our relationships. Oh, right. And to circle back really quick to our girl letting us know that she is like a newcomer into having somewhat daddy issues. Not even just that, but just opening her eyes to it. As we get older, we really see these patterns and we really are able to recognize like, oh, this is an abandonment wound. Oh, this is an avoidant wound. Oh, my dad is toxic. Like,
bro, how are you dating Stacy? She's super hot.
It was quite simple once I learned she didn't have a father. Why did that make it easier?
How familiar are you with Sigmund Freud and his roles of parents?
The psychology guy with like Oedipus and all that? Ew.
Close. You see, Freud explains that the mother and father have equally important but different roles in the child's upbringing. The mother has to provide the unconditional love, the love that cherishes, but the father, conditional love, the love to crave. Gross oversimplifications, of course, but herein lies the secret to my success.
What are you talking about?
She doesn't have a father, so she never got the love that she needed, so she's gonna get it elsewhere, which means her type is the bad boy type. Because people aren't attracted to what's good for them, they're attracted to what's familiar. And all she knows is neglect. And so when the good boys come in and shower her with healthy love, it's foreign to her. She feels repelled by it. And so in I come with a toxic amount of neglect, and oh, like a moth to a flame, she's powerless, and all I have to do is let her play the game of Chase the Magic Dragon.
Chase the Magic Dragon? What, like an addict?
Yes, but her drug of choice being male attention for when her dad left, or his absence was subconsciously interpreted as her not being good enough for him to stay. It's quite sad, but she carries this throughout all her future relationships, which is why she looks for broken men to fix. For if she fixes them, they'll need her, and she'll get that male daddy approval that she's always wanted. But of course it never works, because her thinking is fundamentally flawed, for she's broken herself. It's the blind leading the blind. She has no idea how to help someone. And two, you can't coerce someone to heal. It has to be by their own volition. It takes so much effort, and outside of a relationship, by the way. So because I know exactly the game that she's playing, I know exactly when to feed her crumbs of progress and hope, of me healing. Oh, I feel so much better when I'm around you. And so I get to use her for as long as I want. And when I get tired of her, I can just throw her away like the dirty rag that she is. And the best part, she'll think it's her fault. That's really messed up. She loves it.
Yo, that last part. That last part. He need an Oscar. I felt a little something. She loves it. That's crazy. I'm glad I played this video. This is what I'm talking about though. You think you could fix a man, you think you could bob the bills. No. It has to be by your own volition. Woo, body that. Shit. That was a good one. Okay. Shit. I damn near want to stop it right there. Woo, that felt good. Okay. Boom. This feels like a good place to stop. Alright. So, if you have daddy issues out there and you're a woman, let me know what your experience is. Are you a newcomer? Are you a new bloomer into what it is that you know is a problem between your bond with your father? Okay. Share with me your stories. I want to know. I want to understand. And of course, you are not alone. Okay. Like this video, and subscribe, because we're going to continue to dive more into what it is and why certain relationship dynamics seem to be repetitive or have these same kind of themes. And daddy issues is a theme of why certain things just may not go the way that you anticipated for it to. Okay, so of course, I will catch y'all on the next video. Let me know what it is that you want to see. What else it is that you want to see. And yes, I'll see y'all. Bye.